Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Murmuhu. There was some technical error, took few minutes. Anyway, we will continue with the subject. Last class we were discussing about the Thakur's giving example of Hanuman for faith. And we see when he gave example of Hanuman, he expects every one of us to be like Hanuman. When I give an example, I want that example to be, it's an example. What you expect is exemplified in his life, and you have to imitate that. You have to become a Hanuman yourself. Can you become Hanuman? Because there are two aspects of faith. One is working faith and absolute faith. We see the working faith is different from the absolute faith. I have not attained God, I have never seen, and I have heard scriptures, authority and all that. Then I have developed faith in God. But I have not yet, after seeing God, after realizing God, I get the absolute faith. Till then it is working faith. Once you realize, Hanuman says absolute faith, it is not working faith. Faith which is unshakable, but is leading me to realization, is working faith. Absolute faith is after you see God. He has come for God's work. After a long time, he recognizes himself. We saw the main purpose of Guru in our life is to make you meet yourself. We meet all people. We never meet ourselves. When we meet ourselves, when we turn inside and see, when we objectify ourselves and see all things, lives after lives, what we have earned, we see huge mountain of karmic load, vasanas are behind us, driving us to particular actions, thoughts and feelings. So, how does the working faith at least develop in us? Firm faith. I must have firm faith. And I cannot have a faith in thing which is impermanent and uncertain. Of course, faith in the world is necessary. That's a different subject. But as a spiritual aspirant, I cannot have faith in something wrong which does not lead me to God. So, the traditional Hinduism accepts three pramanas: Shruti, Yukti and Anubhuti. So that you will never make a mistake and have faith in something which will not lead you to God. Shruti is there. This alone will, this is God. The whole of Vedas, what is God? It goes on explaining. It is like this, it is like this. So, when you read Upanishads, you will understand what God is. When you read Thakur's words, any avatara, Rama, Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Thakurs, all paths he passes us through, all religions. Not only one something, we need to advance 1 foot in a particular path whole life. Max Muller says, to attain perfection in one of the 5 yamas, yama niyama, ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya and aparigraha. Of that one ahimsa or anything, one to attain one life you have to sacrifice. So, such a difficult path it is. So, in scriptures, what they give is again and again point to the tat, that reality, idam. What are the aspects of God? What God is. He goes on explaining so that you will not miss your path. Wrong understanding you will not have. Shruti. So, your understanding of anybody is telling anything, it will be put to test. Does Shastra say this? One day somebody told about sannyasa, giving up food entirely, last living on air is sannyasa. Does scripture say? No. There we get the, I have seen God. The scripture authority is there in having seen God. What will be your state? Jivan Mukti Avastha, Lakshanas they tell. So when somebody says something, we have scriptural authority. Does Shastra say this? Thakur, every experience, used to meet people, exchange words and get, because he is anapad, he is not illiterate. So he would ask, see, this is my experience. They will give reference in scriptures. See, in such and such place it is told. Even small things like he could not do the Shraddha, give water to his own parents. Galita hasta. Then the person says, in scripture it is given, it is as Galita hasta. Once one realizes God, he cannot do any more Vedic karmas. So everything, what all he experiences, last he says, Amara anubhavgulo Ved Vedan chhadi gaye. My experiences have crossed the limits of Veda and Vedanta. So, God alone can give this faith. So, when faith is generating, yukti is reasoning. Does it say my reasoning? Shruti, yukti and anubhuti. Is there anybody else who have got the lakshana of realization and tell these words? I have realized God. What is the proof? I can never enjoy this world anymore. As world, as God, as divine, He is there everywhere. He is one with all things. So, first sign, does he have attachment for Kamini Kanchana? So, from Lakshanas, you infer, you cannot know whether a person is realized or not. Watch him day and night. See in all aspects. What does he say? What does words come out of his mouth? Does it tally with scriptures? And does anybody who has realized God approve of it? When people came and told Ramakrishna is avatara. It is not ordinary people who have learned shastrajnas, no, realized souls. Their own guru, Bhairavi Brahmani, Totapuri, these people, stalwarts in spiritual life. So they say, oh, this is incarnation of God. Who has seen God, tell all who came. So here somebody is claiming in Bengal, one child was born. They started proclaiming to the world that Ramakrishna is reborn, Ramakrishna is reborn. All features are there, this, that and all, I got in dream and all. And they named his, Thakur was Dakshineshwar Ramakrishna, no. They named him as Uttareshwar Ramakrishna. Thousands of people started crowding their house till police came and arrested them. How many gifts and how much of money poured in that house. People. But nobody asked the question, what is the authority? Who is telling this? A realized soul has come and told. Does that person who told is a realized soul, all the lakshana of the realized soul are there in him who is proclaiming? So that is what we are trying to see. So anubhuti, shruti, yukti, you use your brain. God has given you intelligence. Analyze and see. Before you have faith in God, does God exist? A thing called God exists. Test yourself. Then God has given you intelligence. Use your intelligence. Where does the faith generate is pure heart. In pure heart, naturally it manifests. It manifests. Faith manifests. You cannot find faith in this world at all. You cannot get faith from this world. Because world is meant only for deluding you. Mahamaya. Mama maya duratyaya. Mameva ye prapadyante. To have faith in God in this world is impossible. From world you can get money, you can get enjoyments. You can make your living. And faith in God is not at all necessary for living in the world. It is not necessary. If you want to transcend the nature and go, if you want to get rid of all pains and suffering forever, all bondages you want to free, like Buddha, who left kingdom, young wife, newborn baby, and walks on his great journey to solve the problem of life. There you must have faith. Faith is necessary in transcending the nature and going beyond. प्रकृति को पार करके जाने के लिए you need faith in God. For living in world, faith is not necessary. Neither faith in you, nor faith in how to make money, how to enjoy. That much is sufficient. But there it is. Faith. This faith generates in the heart, because the whole world is made by Maya. Maya kalpita, desha kala kalana, vaichitre chitrikritam. So it is, you cannot find faith from the world. It must manifest from the transcendental, from your own Atman it manifests. That's why first class I told, faith is something manifestation of the Atman. And even this working faith, not having seen God, faith in God if you have got, you have got greatest victory in this world. You have achieved. That's what Thakur says here. There is nothing greater than. So greatest victory, you have won over this world if you have faith in God. Won over the world. Conquering any country is easy. Conquering Maya is to get faith. If you have got faith, working faith, not absolute faith, working faith to go towards God. If you have attained mastery, great victory over the Maya world. So, this faith is supported by Shruti, Yukti and Anubhuti. Anubhuti, you will know, everybody will come and tell, I have seen God, I have seen God. He is telling his Anubhuti. One day I was traveling in a car, somebody came, it was parked to buy some medicine or somewhere. One person suddenly came and opened the door and caught hold of my feet and asked me, have you seen God? Then he said, I have seen God. You might not have seen God. I have seen God. He took out the bottle from his pocket. He was fully drunk. God is here. I have seen, you have not seen God. So, where does God exist and who sees where? Does it have scriptural authority? Is it told by a, and does he have all the lakshanas of a realized soul claimed by the scriptures and other realized souls? So there we will get the real faith. You have to put your faith to test. So here you will see Shruti, Yukti and Anubhuti are the three main things the Vedanta supports. There are 10 types of pramanas in scriptures, but these three are taken by the Advaitic Vedanta, always by in Hinduism. Other also there, when you go enter into the Shad Darshanas, which Darshana accepts which of the Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti, we say no. Anumana, there it is Anumana. Pratyaksha, Anumana and Shastra. These three are the pramanas that we take in Vedanta. Pratyaksha, I see. Pratyaksha. Anumana, by inference. Yatra yatra dhumaha tatra tatra vannihi. Clouds are there. You say it's going to rain. Dark, black clouds. Anumana. Seeing the thing. There's lot of smoke is raising. Oh, some fire is there. You have not seen the fire, but smoke is raising. From the smoke you will infer Anumana. Seeing this world, you will infer God is there. So like that, Anumana, Pratyaksha, Anumana and Shastra. What Vedas say, Shruti. In case of this one, Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti. Both mean same, in a different word, expressions. So your faith in God is sustained and generated from these. It manifests in a pure heart. This faith makes you realize God. Thakur is telling Hanuman, faith like Hanuman. Now, this with working faith, you cannot jump. You cannot jump the Swarna Ganga. small. But if you have that faith of Hanuman, it's absolute faith. Having seen God, he has got this faith. What happens? Bhavasagara, you will cross over. The next example Thakur gives you, crossing Bhavasagara. That is, Swamiji says, Goshpada Vari Athai. The whole world looks like the water in the Goshpada, footsteps of a cow. This much of water, whole Bhavasagara looks. Meera also says, Bhavasagara jala tarana katina hai kisavida jmao. In another place, सूख गया है, भवसागर सब सूख गया है, फिक्र नहीं मुझे तरन न की. So this faith, what type of faith we are trying to have is working faith. From these three, that firm, clear understanding of God and His existence, scriptures and Thakur's words, parents in the small young age introducing God, and our own understanding, all this builds up the faith and makes you to move forward in the path to God. So, two aspects we have to clear is, I don't have faith in something wrong which does not lead me to God. That is protected and counteracted by the Shruti, study of Upanishads. Why do we want to do Adhyayana? Main part of Adhyayana is to clear our ideas and make you walk in the proper path. Thakur says, even if you are going by wrong path, if you are sincere in that path, somebody will come and guide you. There is no problem. But where is the time? Time is so short, human life. We have to go empty-handed. A little wastage of 1 minute may delay your realization. So many people die in spite of sadhana, they die without realization. Most sad part of life. So immediately you have to dedicate yourself, consolidate yourself, find a particular fine place where you can evolve, where there is very strict discipline, where there is a tapasic life of severe austerities. How we lived in the forest. Some leaves you have to pluck and eat. Unripe fruits you have to boil, put in fire and eat. Such kind of severe austerities. Fast for many days. So, whatever you get, with that be contented. So, that kind of life sustains this. And how you are going to dedicate yourself to realization of God. This faith will make you pass through all this to get rid of the inner dirt. Faith comes only if heart is pure. But many of the karmic distractions and problems you will have to solve. All these things open up in your life. It is called spiritual unfoldment. It is folded inside and it unfolds like a flower or bud blooming into a flower. A bud is unfolding. All things, all petals, they said everything is there inside. It is unfolding. Like that, we will have spiritual unfoldment. For spiritual unfoldment, we need a spiritual life, spiritual basis, a strict, disciplined life. And then, means you are there at that time, whatever happens. The discipline, like military discipline. And then austerities, tapas, and service, universal love. These and spiritual practices. These are important aspects of spiritual life. Where you can do all this is the right place for you to evolve. Faith cannot be given by anybody. We will see tomorrow how, suppose you don't have faith or you have weak faith, what to do, what can be done? I do tomorrow. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanam